In addition to traditional mouse or touchscreen navigation, TilBuci also supports keyboard or game controller interactions using the target functionality. In this video, we'll explore this feature using an example. Before we begin, why not check out our production? Let's start with traditional navigation using the mouse. When accessing the content, we click the mouse button to display the first scene. Notice that clickable elements on the screen are highlighted by a mouse over effect. Let's now go back and start navigating using the target, which can be controlled either with the arrow keys or a joystick. Notice that the mouse over effect has been replaced by changes in the target icon, depending on the on-screen element it overlays. To begin, let's import the example movie. The download link is in the description of this video. Importing a movie into TilBuci is simple. In the left menu, go to Exchange and click Import a Movie. Next, provide a movie ID, and after that, select the zip file. Your movie will be imported shortly. Open the newly imported movie. Let's first check out the splash scene. Notice that in addition to the background, it features a title image and two action buttons. One to initiate mouse or touchscreen interaction and the other to navigate via target. Let's examine the actions of clicking the mouse button. Notice that as soon as the button is clicked, we begin displaying an interface called the Home menu, and then load the wood scene. In the left contraptions menu, go to Interfaces. Let's take a look at this interface called Home menu. Note that it only has one button that executes the Home command when clicked. To learn more about interfaces and also how to produce your content using TilBuci, check out the video playlist on creating a content kiosk about the solar system, available on this channel. The Home action executed is configured in the movie's properties in the Action Snippets tab. Note that it starts by hiding the target. It then hides any currently displayed interfaces and, finally, loads the splash scene. Now, let's examine the actions of the target navigation button. Clicking it displays the Home menu interface. Next, the graphics to be used in the target are set, using the target named example. Next, the mouse cursor is hidden, and finally, the wood scene is loaded. The actions involving target and mouse cursor management are within the Input Management group. The graphics used in targets are configured from the Contraptions menu. Let's take a look at the target called Example. First, we have the default image, the first one shown when the target is displayed. Setting this graphic is mandatory for creating a target. Next, we have the optional images, starting with the one displayed when the target hovers over a menu, which we won't use in this example. The next image is the one used when the target hovers over an interface, which we set as an arrow. The next three graphics indicate the images to be used when the target hovers over an instance whose name begins with the indicated text. This way, if it hovers over an instance with a name starting with left, it will display a left-facing arrow. If it hovers over one with a name starting with right, it will display a right-facing arrow. Including these optional images improves the usability of your creation by providing visual feedback to the user about your content. Now that we've reviewed the splash scene, let's open the Woods one to check its contents. Notice that this scene has 4 keyframes. In the first, our character stands in front of a cave entrance. In the second, he moves to the center of the screen. The third shows the character exiting to the left, while the last shows the character returning to the cave entrance. These keyframes will be used to animate our interaction. For this animation to work, we'll need to configure some scene properties. First, we'll mark it as a static scene. This will prevent keyframes from playing automatically, giving us control over the flow. Then, in the Keyframes tab, we'll adjust the actions to be executed at the end of each keyframe. When the first one ends, we want the second one to play immediately, causing the character to leave the front of the cave and move to the middle of the screen. The second keyframe will not trigger any action at the end, causing the character to remain still until we interact with the content. At the end of the third keyframe, the one where the character exits to the left, the splash scene will load again, while the end of the fourth keyframe, the one where the character is back in front of the cave, loads the cave scene. Our character will be standing still on the second keyframe, waiting for an interaction. Let's return to it and check the available actions. First, select the sign instance on the left. Note that the name of this instance begins with left, which will cause a change in the graphic of our target when it passes over it. Checking the click actions on this instance, we see that it causes the scene to go to the third keyframe, the one where the character exits to the left, and, at the end, loads the splash scene again. A similar configuration was made for the cave instance on the right, with its name beginning with right. A click on this instance plays the fourth keyframe, skipping the third, causing the cave scene to load immediately afterward. An instance's trigger actions set its behavior when it is clicked, but they are also triggered when the target is over it and the user presses the space bar or the first button on the game controller. Speaking of keyboard and joystick control, let's access our Movies Properties window and open the Input tab. You can specify custom actions for the arrow keys and other keyboard buttons, as well as for the directional pad and the first 4 buttons on the game controller. However, while the target is displayed, this behavior is automatically replaced by the graphics movement across the screen, while the space bar and the first joystick button take over the function of triggering instance actions. Note that, by default, pressing the Enter key or the second joystick button causes the target to be displayed, a behavior that can be changed if desired. If you don't configure graphics for the target, it will be displayed as a white circle with a black outline. While we're checking our Movies properties, let's access the Animation and Interaction tab. Note that here we can configure the highlight color around instances with actions when the mouse cursor hovers over them. The cave scene has a very similar structure to the woods one, being a static scene with 3 keyframes and a very similar animation and interaction structure. The biggest difference is an animated visual element created from a sprite map. Check out the content creation playlists on this channel to learn more about this topic. In this video, we learn a little about target navigation, which can be done using either a keyboard or a game controller. We also explore some scene-making techniques for creating interactive animations. Also, check out this channel's playlists about content production in TilBuci, as well as the dialogue creation tool, which works similarly to RPGs and visual novels.